Good evening and welcome everyone to the Wednesday, May 21st, 2025 City Council Workshop. First, number one discussion to include is city cardboard pickup.
Mayor, Council, so we have something very riveting for you tonight. It's to talk about our city cardboard pickup. We have Mr. Uritich and Mr. Watkins here from Public Works. They've been working on this for a while, and we just going to give you a rundown of what we've found so far with our cardboard pickup that we do in town. So, it's John and Jim, if you want to come to the podium, just kind of go through your findings here, John.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
So as Jesse just stated, we did a cost on picking cardboard up on all the routes. And did you pass out diagrams?
Yep,
Or-
they
okay.
have the
Okay,
sheet.
the sheets there. Okay, so what we did is we did a breakdown on the wages and mileage and time, hours it took, the depreciation of trucks, and as it stands right now, picking cardboard up, we're spending approximately $4,060 a month just picking cardboard for our trucks, and they're averaging about 29 hours a week picking cardboard. The city does not make any money on the cardboard. It's just a free service, and it's just for the commercial businesses right now. So basically the taxpayers are supporting the cost of the pickup for the cardboard. And we're trying to make a decision if we should continue or maybe take a survey for maybe cost, if they're charging for it. I'm thinking, well, I guess we're asking the council kind of what you'd recommend to do on that situation. The cost of picking the cardboard up basically is the same cost of picking garbage up right now. And we're making profits on garbage, but we're not making anything on the cardboard. So I did contact the city of Chisholm, Grand Rapids, and Virginia. Chisholm does not pick up cardboard. Grand Rapids does not pick up cardboard. Virginia still does, but he didn't sound like it was something they wanted to keep doing. So at this time we have, well, we're trying to restructure the department, as you know. We have 6 sanitation routes right now. We're going to be getting rid of the black steel containers. We're in process of doing the 300 plastic containers. So we'll be getting rid of our 2 Packmore trucks and replacing that with a rapid rail, which can pick up the 300s. One concern we have with the plastics, plastic cans for cardboard, is they have a 3rd lid to the top. And cardboard, if it isn't broke down small, it's gonna be hung up in there and it won't dump out of the truck too. That's gonna be another issue that we're looking at. And with the 29 hours a week, if we discontinue picking cardboard up, we would combine the routes to take up those 29 hours and then that way there we could probably get down to 5 routes instead of 6 routes. Just trying to think what else.
So Mayor, Council, that when John was talking, it's $4,000 roughly per week. It's $211,000 per year that we spend on cardboard pickup with our employees, with our equipment. It's kind of subsidizing the sanitation department. Our sanitation department with the garbage pickup is subsidizing the cardboard. So the residents are paying for all the commercial properties to have their cardboard picked up for free, while all the residents are have to take their cardboard to the recycle center. And then we haul it to the county landfill from the recycle center. So, you know, we'd like to, like what John said, we'd like to get away from the side load truck. If we do buy another side load truck, the only thing that'll be used for is the pickup free cardboard. It won't be used for anything else. Because we're transitioning from the side load truck to the rapid rail truck to use the 300-gallon containers and get away from the side load steel containers. So with the rapid rail, we can pick up a 65 gallon, we can pick up a 95 gallon residential, and we can pick up a 300 gallon commercial can. So we can have one truck do multiple things instead of having this truck only does this, and this truck only does this.
So, Jesse, what I hear you saying, are you recommending all residents, of course, bring their cardboard to the recycle center? Or some, I'm sure, throw it right in their garbage.
Yeah,
But is that what we're looking, is to have commercial break their stuff down and bring it themselves?
yes, if possible, that would be, what our plans would be is, we would expand the fence on the recycle center and add more cardboard cans. And if we did, combined routes, we have, 5 drivers, and then we also have the 2 skilled labor truck drivers, which could, run the rear loader, which goes out almost every day, and delivering cans. And then when they're not used, I can use them at Public Works for labor jobs. Right now, we're subsidizing our skilled laborers almost every day on sanitation. So we're taking away from our work at Public Works to be on sanitation, just delivering cans and rear loader.
So what I kind of heard you say, John, as you spoke, is the 2 options are because is commercial being charged for cardboard?
No.
No,
That's not an option.
So that could be an option. So right now, I think garbage is roughly $29 per unit.
Right.
So the cost of cardboard is roughly we spend about $29 per unit.
Right.
So one option, we'd start charging for cardboard based on our expenses, or we do not pick up cardboard and the commercial properties bring their cardboard to the recycle center. You know, if the commercial properties choose to, well, you know, I'm just gonna throw it in the garbage. Well, we pick up that garbage for a fee. So the more they put in there, the more their fee is.
Yeah, no, I understand it, but I did also hear that if they don't break it down properly in our garbage containers, so you might not be able to dump it.
Right.
yeah, correct.
So that's why I said it sounded like the 2 options, if we wanted to still dump commercial, it could be an option that they're charged, or they bring their cardboard to the
Yeah.
recycle like the residents do. How do we deal with the school district? Because I think they have card.
They have front load, which we could keep the schools.
Oh, they have front load,
Yeah, they have
okay.
front load cardboard, which
Okay.
the front load could do that. He dumps approximately 18 containers at the recycle center right now for cardboard. In anticipation of, if we did discontinue picking it up,
Okay.
and adding dumpsters, we'd probably have to have one more run of cardboard with the front load if people did bring to the recycle center.
Yeah.
Instead of, you know,
Mayor, council, I think if the council wanted to keep the cardboard pickup for commercial, we'd have to keep that style of truck,
Yes.
the side load truck. And the trucks we have now for the side load truck, one is on its last leg. The other one needs to be replaced, is why we're kind of switching to this, to get away from having 3 different
Yeah.
styles of trucks.
What is the volume? I'm just curious, when you say commercial, I mean, what is the volume of cardboard picked up?
it's by yard. So like if there's a 6-yard container that's charged by yard, 6 yards.
But, no, and I understand that, but do we know what the volume is? As far as how much is actually being put in the containers?
Oh, yeah, it can be anywhere from a yard to 6 yards. But every.
Do you have the total amount of cardboard that we haul to the transfer station?
I don't know if I have.
If I could,
Yeah.
Mayor, Council. As of right now, one of our drivers picks up cardboard on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and those days he averages about 2 tons of cardboard per day.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there it is, yeah.
So with having 2 trucks, that style, we're looking at potentially 4 to 5 tons of cardboard, 2 days a week,
So when we,
4 to 5.
4 to 5.
yep, so when we pick up the cardboard, it's in volume.
Right.
And garbage, when we bring it to the transfer station, it's by weight.
Yeah.
So Jesse, help me understand. So let's talk about behind the Sportsman's and Boomtown. So there's a container there, and they share it between those 2 restaurants. So what's going to be different than in the future? Will there be a garbage can or, cardboard for Boomtown and one for Sportsman's?
Do you,
How does that work?
do you know what's back there now?
If we
Jim?
were to continue picking up cardboard, yes, there would be one per business.
Okay, so oftentimes what happens is residents will go down the alley and dump their own cardboard in it. And then the commercial person would have to pay for that then. How do we monitor that?
There can be locks put on the cans, and it would be up to the business owner to make sure that that can is open the day that it's dumped. And if we come by and the lock is on it, we drive by it.
Okay, and then there, if there's a business that produces no cardboard, they're not gonna be charged then, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And if they break cardboard down, they could put it in the regular garbage, as long as it isn't,
In
if
a
it's
bag.
broke down,
Yeah,
it isn't a problem, it's when they don't break it down.
yeah, if someone just put big boxes in those blue cans, they're not gonna dump out into
Yeah.
the truck. So that's the only problem with the blue 300s, if we stuck with cardboard to do that.
And you checked with Grand Rapids and you checked with Chisholm, so Chisholm and Grand Rapids do
Do
not,
not- I believe Grand Rapids told me that I think they must have like a recycle center
Yeah.
or something, and Waste Management picks it up from there. And then, like I say, Chisholm, I talked to Larry over there, and they discontinued picking cardboard up too. And I think they might have a contractor in some businesses. I'm sure it's up to each business to, if you wanna have it hauled or not.
Can we just go back?
yes,
Mr. Mayor, you said about in a residential canister, it was my understanding everything had to be in a bag, including if you broke down your cardboard, it had to go in a bag. Is that true?
I'm not sure about the cardboard. The garbage, the trash needs to be in a bag, but I don't believe the cardboard does.
Oh, okay, thank you.
No, it was, cardboard was never. And then, sometimes if they do pull up to empty cardboard, right now, if there's, somebody throws a bunch of junk into the cardboard, that has to get dumped as trash, so that's basically not a recyclable dumpster then, it's, so there's issues like that too.
Justin?
Just a couple quick questions. Do you know how many commercial customers we have for cardboard?
There's gotta be, I don't know that number right offhand, there's quite a few.
And then if we were to,
Is that our number of cans?
199?
Does that sound right?
Oh, for,
How many cans are
How
there?
many cans, yeah.
That's pretty close, yeah.
And then if we,
199.
if we were to keep doing the service and charge for the service, it sounds like we'd almost have to buy a brand new truck just for cardboard.
Yes.
And then supply it with its own cans if they need to be done.
Right, so if you look at the bottom, these are the cans that we have out currently for cardboard. And we buy those, we replace those because the bottoms rot out on them eventually. There's about just under $300,000 in cardboard cans out there right now.
And we do this all for free.
yeah, there's.
Correct.
Including like Walmart?
We don't pick up Walmart.
No,
They have a
that's,
compactor.
contract.
Oh.
Super Wireless
Yeah,
compactor.
if they have their own
Yeah, so
compactor, then
they
they have
should-
a contractor pick it up.
So this is mostly just like small businesses?
Yeah, this is pretty much downtown Hibbing.
Sounds to me if we're doing a financial move, we would just not pick up garbage, or the cardboard anymore, right?
Right.
But I guess the other side is the recycling side, and helping out the local businesses. I can't justify buying a truck just to dump the cardboard though, or designate one sole one to do cardboard if we could make up $200,000 in a year. Might not be the best choice out there, but I would be against picking up cardboard. It sounds like it'd be a headache. I mean, I feel like you guys are kind of coming forward, supporting.
It is, it's a lot of wear and tear, on the trucks and fuel costs, wages, and basically the city is not gaining anything, not that we're trying to gain, it's just, it's a free service and it's costing the city quite a bit of money a year just to do that free service. And as taxpayers, we're all paying for the, pickup, the portion of the pickup to cover that.
I believe I believe those trucks are, well, 350,000 for a new side load truck.
Just quick math on it, I'm not the expert, but if you do the quick math, even adding in depreciation in a new truck, you're probably talking about $100 to $115 a month per commercial customer for pickup, just to use easy numbers.
Yep.
You had a cost number what it costs to dump each can, did you not?
Yeah, it's basically the same as garbage, about $29 a can.
That's
Pick it
what
up.
it costs us,
Yeah,
with fuel, wages, appreciation.
yep.
Any other questions for Jim or John or Jesse? Good report.
I got a question.
Yes.
So what we're kind of looking for is a little bit of direction on, I know we can't take action, but is it something we should move towards, kind of prepare for, not picking up cardboard? We wouldn't do it tomorrow. You know, we'd bring it to a council meeting, get a date picked out, get notices put out. I'm thinking, you know, sometime in October 1st, November 1st, something like that, to give people some time to either make a decision if they want to have somebody pick it up for them, contract with waste management to have a can from them, because they pick up cardboard as well and pay for that service, or haul it themselves. Or do we want to look at it, do we even want to look at charging and buying the equipment? You know, I agree, I don't think that's the way to go, just to provide this service. So we're just looking for a little bit of direction on which way to point us towards, and then we'll get everything set up and bring it back to city council.
Yeah, I would support phasing it out slowly. I mean, obviously, like you said, not tomorrow, but, you know, with having the other neighboring towns, doing that, it's obviously a reason that they're not doing it, the same boat we're looking at now, so.
I would think if Waste Management can do it for them, there's a vendor out there with that option. So there's no sense in us trying to recreate the wheel.
Yep, and when we put together, we'll put together maybe a pamphlet, or we'll work with Kelly to do some online stuff, and any information we get, Waste Management or anybody else that'll pick that up, we'll put a contact on there for them.
You know, the other thing too, if you go back, you know, quite a few years, because how old is our recycle center? You know, maybe 15 years, 20 years max?
Yeah,
We haven't always had a recycle center, so we didn't have the option to bring cardboard like we do right now.
And we'd work, between now and whenever that date is, we'd work towards expanding the recycle
Yep.
center, adding more cans, so.
I think it's important that, and I'm assuming, you know, I think it's great working with Kelly, and maybe she can work with our local Chamber of Commerce to help the businesses understand what our pathway is going to be
Yep.
and our deadline.
Did you get any feedback from those other towns, like, if they notice, like, the businesses, like, are there businesses that just, do bring their cardboard, or they just throw it in the trash?
I know there's businesses that have Waste Management picking them up, but, you know, I'm sure that's scheduled by them.
Does Chisholm have city garbage service, or they?
Yeah, they have a city garbage service, but their recycles, they don't do. They have a recycle center. And like I said, I did talk to the superintendent in Virginia, and he didn't sound too enthused about picking cardboard up. They're still doing it, but I told him we were looking into the cost and stuff, so maybe they will too, you know, I don't know.
You know, and looking at the cost, when we started looking at this, it costs a lot more than you think. You know, when you go through the numbers, when you have all the time, the equipment, the fuel, the manpower, it's a big number. So that's kind of why we wanted to bring it to you to say, hey, you know what, look at this. This is a big number, what do you want to do?
Well, I think we have a direction, I think some of the counselors have said, and you know, I haven't heard any other option brought up. Phasing is what kind of, it sounds like John had mentioned, and it was supported.
So
Counselors, any other?
maybe we'll bring, in June, we'll bring something back to the council with a date for discussion
All right.
and how we want to move forward. Is that okay?
Council, you're,
Sounds like a plan.
all right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
This time, we'll move on, good discussion, we'll move on to roundtable discussion. Mr. Krasinski, we'll start with you.
So, I don't have anything from my office, but I did ask Betsy to give an update on IRRB funding. So Betsy, if you would do that, I'd appreciate it.
Yep, absolutely, Mayor, Council. Last Wednesday, the city staff had an opportunity to go and present our financial management plan and our capital improvement plans to the IRRR staff. And we sat down with them for probably about 90 minutes going through all of the items that we've been working on around those two big projects for the last couple of years. And we gave them that same priority list that we gave to you all at workshop prior to that. And so that was the workshop with the project names, the project costs, what we've already secured for those projects, and what remains unsecured or what the gaps are. They've asked us to send back then from that overall list and all of the items that we put together, a couple of priorities that we're looking for to fund this particular fiscal year. So that would be FY 2026, which starts on July 1. The couple of items that staff has really gotten together and worked on and discussed is the public safety building and the public works facility deferred maintenance for that overarching project, the essential items. And the total of that gap right now is 9.866 million. I know we've requested already through the financial process to allow for bonding for a portion of that up to a certain limit. So our intention then is to request from IRRR to share in half of that funding and see what they'll say back on that. We would go for that in the public works funding pot that they have. Any questions or concerns on that direction?
Council? Any questions? I mean, that's, I'll respond first. That's our top priority, to get that building up and running and updated. You know, anytime we can bring any other outside funding in to offset our costs to our residents, I think is really critical, so.
Okay.
For myself, I think that's a good choice. That should be our number one. It's the number one project right now.
100% agree with what the mayor said. I did have a question about, so you said we would request up to half of the 9 million?
Right.
So that amount that we requested, does that limit anything else that we get from them? Or does that limit only the public works funding from
That is
IRRB?
the public works request that we'll put in. So thank you, Councilor Faso. The second pot of funding that's fairly substantial that they work on is their housing fund. And from conversation in the past, the direction that staff felt we had heard from council was our top two priority projects around housing for this particular fiscal year would be the HRA of Hibbing's 48 units to replace the full Greenhaven and the 400 block redevelopment project. So those would be the two projects that we would put forward for housing requests. Are we also hearing you loud and clear on that as well?
Yes.
Excellent. And then the third pot of funding that they have is community development partnerships. So for that one, we're looking at continued investment in our downtown towards additional reinvestment in the downtown deferred loan program that is administered by HEDA. We're doing some work right now to sort of figure out what that could look like, and the EDA board has started to workshop that. So they've given me some direction. I'll bring them back some additional conversation around that to be prepared for a July ask on that as well. And then the fourth pot of funding that they have is their commercial redevelopment fund, which is demolition, internal or external. We're hoping that that could contribute to the redevelopment project on the 400 block. We have the Hong Kong that will need to come down. We also have the warehouse that recently was purchased near Jacob Hansen's, the Castle Apartments, right across the alley from that. So those will be some of the projects that we go after. I'm also hearing from some of our businesses in town that need some demolition funds to assist with larger projects that they have, say the Iron Range Plumbing and Heating project. So those will also be coming through. Obviously, you know, we can't secure all of the funding in that pot, but some of these projects will be priority funds, and then we'll have to figure out how to fund the others. So that's the fourth pot of funding that we have. Am I missing anything, Greg, that we discussed with them?
That's it. Thank you.
Excellent. That's good. All right, so that's the direction from my office. I also wanted to let you know that the Highland Hills, we received some information back from our consultants that we've been working on from the public meetings that were held in March. We will probably have a presentation to you either June 4th or June 18th as the update on the concepts that take all of the staff input, community input, et cetera, together, and then go off for some proposals on the civil plans for that project. So we're continuing to move forward and look for that to come in June. All right?
Thanks, Betsy.
Excellent, thanks.
All right.
I thought of
Yes.
one more thing from my
Okay.
office. Just a quick little report. Public Safety Building, Andy, thank you so much for helping us get those deeds recorded. I know it was a bit of a push to get everything in line. We got those recorded. The project kicked off on Monday. Might feel like a little bit of a slow start, but trailers are getting moved in and silt fences and all that good stuff, so it did kick off. Bid pack 2,
It's advertised right now.
so that's up for bid.
Very good.
We're off and running, so thank you, that's all from my office.
You bet. Candy?
I don't have anything tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Candy?
I don't.
Okay. I had to ask twice. I thought maybe I misheard. Okay. James? Justin?
Just a quick, I know I think we got an email last week about some blight issues. And I know when we did the tax meeting from the other day, we had some blight issues that we wanted to address. Are we moving forward on these? Any updates on those?
I think the one on Fifth Avenue was cleaned up. That was the worst one.
That one is cleaned up? Does anybody know?
That
was
That was what he
thinking-
told us. I think Jim Watkins told us today.
That one,
That
that one's
leadership.
cleaned up.
That Fifth was cleaned up.
Yeah.
Counselor, can you remind me, which ones was I referring to?
One on the
19th.
19th Avenue.
Duffney,
The
it
old
was
something.
like 34 or something, or
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember the address.
It's on the list. We know that it's on the list, but I don't think that one's been cleaned up yet.
And then there's one in Kitsville.
Mhm.
We just
I
talked
think
about
the
that.
other one was the trailer park.
Which one though? Was it,
Off of Fifth
Estates?
Avenue,
Oh.
yeah, off of Fifth Avenue East.
Are you aware of that one at all?
Oh.
Matt?
not Birchwood Trailer, or Birch Court Trailer, Birchwood?
Behind
okay.
Fifth Avenue East,
Okay.
Oh, yeah, behind Ryan.
Yes.
Behind Ryan Addition.
Yeah, okay.
There was one behind Ryan Addition that was discussed.
I'll
Yeah.
check in with,
Yeah, let's,
yeah,
can we
with,
get back to you on that?
yeah, with. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know the status of the cleanup? By chance?
That was the one that was just sent out in an email requesting it to be looked at, but that would be a pretty quick turnaround on something like that.
Yeah. We have that, the address. and-
Yeah, you know which one we're talking about.
Yeah. It didn't appear that bad
Yeah.
compared to most, but we haven't gotten there. And then Forest Heights, they're demoing at least
seen
8
that.
trailers that were there, and the other ones are moved out. I haven't talked to the owner, but he has, they'll be doing all new sewer and water supposedly.
New sewer and water?
Yeah, according to the maintenance person out there, they'd be bringing in over 100 brand new double wides and trailers. the new owner.
Okay. Who's the new owner, do you know, Pat?
I don't know his name, North Carolina. He bought it from, the guy that was in Montana. Yeah, and paid off the assessments that were.
So he's looking at cleaning up and rejuvenating that area.
Correct, yep. He hasn't contacted us, but, he had all new sewer and water and connections, supposedly.
Is this the one by Vic Power?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this,
Yep, right.
is that Hector? Is that the one we sent the letter to? To say you can't shut everybody off?
No,
Yeah, well.
Yes.
was
yeah,
that the one?
The new owner,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Where he was trying to shut
Then
everybody
he jacked the
off.
rent up by 5 times, drive the people
I
out
thought
that
that
way.
was one by the country club.
No,
No.
No, it was,
Hector was the other one.
Okay.
He was-
All right, that's all I got.
Good.
started a heck of a conversation there, Justin. I have nothing tonight.
Just two quick things. One is wondering if we should consider inviting the city council to the June 9th HEDA meeting so that they can hear the developer's presentation on the 400 block of Howard Street. If anyone would like to be listening to
Plan
those.
on trying to go.
Yeah. Okay. Should we do it as a?
Yep.
Okay. And then secondly, has there been any communication or community engagement meetings scheduled for the HRA new housing project regarding the road? Apparently some neighbors are starting to wonder what that might look like. Has that been discussed at all?
Not that I know of.
Well, we have the route that would be
We-
coming
we-
off of 9th West,
Yeah.
right?
So LHB will do the design on that, coming off of 9th West. I don't believe there's a, Betsy, do you know if there's a public hearing process for the road within our right of way?
Good question, Counselor Hoffman-Sockman. No, I don't think so at this time, because the right-of-way already exists. So, the intention is to extend the road through the public right-of-way to the property. And we're going to do an easement on the property that is city-owned to ensure that that easement stays for public right-of-way for the road, and then, utilize public right-of-way. So at this time, I mean, Andy, are we missing anything?
I think procedurally, no, I don't think you are. I think, Councilor Hopkins, you weren't really looking for legal action, but more to
No, just, are we going to have some?
advise the
conver-
community
yeah,
as to why we're putting
exactly.
the road
That's
above.
my- Yes, not legal, just, are we going to, advise the
In one s-
community or the neighbors in that area? 'Cause I think they're starting to have some questions. about
And
that.
I think once LHB gets into their design of the road, they can provide some schematics and details on what it's gonna look like, the entrance into it, the width, the sidewalk, trees, lighting, if that's kind of what they're looking for.
I think that's what they're
Okay.
looking for.
Yeah, so I know, obviously Jackie does some work with her residents around, community engagement, et cetera, and we can probably bring them to council. We could put them, even if we workshop them, they would be out, for everybody to see. They could,
Right.
we could put them on our website to download the site concept plans.
And the road on that one, that's gonna go on the north side, right?
Yes, I
So
mean,
that,
since
so that-
day one,
right, so that would be along where there are existing homes, kind of.
it's the
and-
back of the
And dead-end
properties.
roads, and I would believe
And there's
their
some-
concern would be that those roads won't be dead-end anymore, or what's gonna go on with that.
No, we're south of where the dead ends are of those
Yeah.
roads, we're south of that, so we're not gonna extend. The one we'll go over to is 5th, and we'll extend that to catch the second phase of Jackie's development.
Right.
And
So
then
the-
we'll connect to 38th, right? So
Yep.
that road already exists. So we will just it will be a U-shaped, or an
maybe-
L will be added.
Just as something as simple as reaching out to Jackie and updating her on what's going on, that type of thing.
She and I are working on that together because we're going for the Workforce Infrastructure Grant through Minnesota Housing Finance Agency right now. So, as soon as we have more, Jesse and I can bring it back to council. And she has been kept aware of exactly what it's gonna look like, so,
Thank you.
yeah, thanks.
All right. Is that it, Counselor Hopkins?
That's everything.
Very
Thank you
good.
kindly.
Counselor Whitney?
Just that, I think there's a link now on the city and police department's Facebook page, if anybody's interested in volunteering for cleanup days, that's the route to go. So if you wanna help out, check out those links and sign up.
Very good. 6th and 7th, Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
I think it's the 6th and 7th.
Counselor Hildebrand?
Okay.
Mr.
I'm
Story?
sure you've noticed 23rd Street project started. So with that, we got everything milled past the high school to 9th. We got a construction meeting tomorrow. We're gonna move that road closed sign from 9th to past the entrance into the Memorial Building parking lot. So that will no longer be closed until school's over, because that's causing some problems, with student drivers. So we'll move that back, and then once school is over, we're gonna completely close down the road. We have a bunch of water main crossings, all the sidewalk, all the curb and gutter is coming out. All the trees are down. So it'll be a mess until the end of August, and it'll be really nice.
They'll be I see they're already putting curbing in up off of First Avenue.
Yeah, they started.
Because there must
today.
not be any major infrastructure in the road there?
Yep, Second Avenue is the first crossing for water,
Okay.
and that's just crossing 23rd. So, yeah, the plan is to get the curb and gutter to the intersection, and then skip the intersection and install curb and gutter while they're
Okay.
working on the water. And once the water's tied in, we'll do the radiuses, the ped ramps, and tie everything
Nice.
together.
It really look nice. That's gonna be, it's not such a busy street.
Yeah, like I said, though, it's gonna be, to get to that end game is gonna be bumpy, bear with us.
So,
Can you vocalize for the rest of the council the issue we have with the internet service, please?
So was that last week? I think on Thursday.
I think it was Thursday or Friday.
So we have to saw cut along the curb and gutter, the entire length of the project to get the old curb and gutter out because it's intertwined with the concrete base. Well, there's crossings of fiber optic that are right underneath the concrete. So we cut the fiber on Thursday, and I found out this afternoon we cut it again about a block away. And that serves all of that side of businesses on that side.
So if you
But
get
it-
calls, like
Yep.
I did from businesses on First Avenue, or even, the building, I think Pernovich is in that small building now.
Yep.
yeah.
Um,
So
So
it
when they-
had to been marked, but
It's marked.
they didn't go deep, they didn't go where the
But,
depth they needed.
Yeah, it's supposed to be 24 to 30 inches, I believe, is code. This is 8.
So they just went,
Yeah, because we got 8 inches of concrete base. It's right up against the concrete.
We can't avoid it, apparently we just can't avoid it, it's gonna get cut. every
well,
time.
yeah, it isn't because they're not at the depth they're supposed to be at.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So if you get calls, there's your info.
That's why.
So do they make it right then? And
Yeah, CenturyLink, they spent pretty much all day Friday, all day Saturday fixing the first cut, and they were back there today. It'll take them, because it's a big fiber. So it takes a couple days to fix. I don't know how, but. So yeah, that's all I got.
All right,
Pass.
pass. All right, with that being said, the evening is done. Thank you very much.